Hi dears, welcome to Indian Brain channel. Today we are going to launch a new course, all-in-one. What do you mean by all-in-one? Aptitude, reasoning, pure maths for all competitive exams. CGL, banking, SSC CGL, banking, RRB, CLAT, CUT, entrance exams are there, right? Academic level. So for all, only single course. That is what all-in-one. Aptitude, reasoning, pure maths. That's why don't miss the best opportunity. First of all, download our app, observe few videos. According to that, you can plan. Okay? Choice is yours. Now, today we are going to discuss percentage topic. One powerful lesson, percentage topic. Right? What do you mean by percent? Define the word percent. Per. Cent. Easy. Per means what? Every. Cent means what? Century. So we need to compare with the 100. That's it. Percent is nothing but comparison with 100. That's it. For an example, if I put here 10%. So to remove this percentage sign, we need to take the help of 100. That's it. By 100. Oh, to remove sign, by 100 should be there. That's it. Nothing is there. What do you mean by percent? Comparison with 100 is called percent. In this, we'll have few basic level questions. After that, we can go for advanced level. Right? Presently, we can go for introduction part. How to calculate percentage to a given number. Right? Don't confuse. Okay? Observe it now. 10%, 25%, right? 50%. Next, 75%, 100%. These are very, very powerful shortcuts we have. How to calculate easiest way? First of all, we need to convert percentage value into fraction form. It will save your time for sure. 10% means what? 10 by 100. So logically answer can be 1/10, right? 1/10. 10% value is nothing but 1/10 of a number. Nothing is there. 10% is nothing but compared with 100. That's why 1/10 of a number is called 10% worth. Then what about 25%? 25 by 100 is there, right? So logically it can be 1 by 4th. 1 by 4th. Yes or no? 25 ones are 25 fours are. Right. In the same way, 50% means what? 1 by 2, direct step. 75%, 75 by 100 will be there. 75 by 100 is nothing but 25 table. Answer can be 25 threes or 25 fours or 3/4 of a number. That's it. Then what about 100%? 100 by 100 is nothing but complete number. 1. 1 is nothing but complete number. Complete number. Right? Percentage to fractions. Clear? Percentage to fractions. Then what is next level? How to calculate percentage to a given number. That's important, right? For an example, the question is like this: 10% of 80. How can you calculate? Whenever you half, it can be into. It can be into. Yes, 10 by 100 into 80 can be our answer. 2 zeros can answer 8. This is the basic idea, but don't go for calculation. Without calculation or without pen and paper, easily you can get the answer with your brain if you understand it logically. What is this? 10% means 1/10 of a number, right? If I take 480, I want 10%. What is direct step? 10% is nothing but 48. Why? Because by 10. 10% is nothing but by 10. It will save your time for sure. Okay? Always remember 10% values and 1% value also. What do you mean by 1% here? How can you calculate 1%? 1 by 100, right? Simplest way. 1 by 100 can be 1% value. Right? For an example, if I go for one more interesting task, right? Observe it now. Question. I need to calculate 91% value of any number. For an example, 480. In this case, how can you calculate percentage value? 91% of 480 can be general way, 91 divided by 100 into 480 can be our answer, right? This is general way. But we don't want this way. So without pen paper, how can you calculate is important. Remember one thing, here below 480. 480, I want to go for 91% value. To get 91% value, first of all, we need to concentrate on 10% worth of any number. What is 10% worth of 480? 10% worth. Keep in mind, 10% is nothing but 48. If it is 480, 10%, 48. What is 1%? 4.8. Yes or no? 1% means by 100. 1 by 100 will be there. 4.8. 480 divided by, don't confuse, 480, 1% value will be like this, 0, 0 gone, answer 4.8, right? Okay, 10% can be 48, 1% can be 4.8. So 48 how many times? 9 times. Why? Because 90% value is there, right? 9 times of 48 will be there. 9 times of 48 plus 4.8 can be your answer. That's it. It will save your time. Of course, this is a basic way, don't confuse. Sometimes it is very useful logic way also. Why? Because it will save your time, right? For an example, if I go for one more question, don't confuse, right? Observe it clearly. If I calculate 99% of 360, in this case, how can you deal? 99% of 360. It is a little bit difficult, right? But don't confuse. 99% is nothing but 100 minus 1%, right? 100 minus 1%. This can be 99% value. Okay, 100 means what? 360. 360 can be 100% value. 100% of any number can be a number itself, right? Yes or no? 100% of any number can be number itself. Okay, I have taken 360, that's 100% value. I need to subtract 1%, right? Okay, 100% minus 1% can be 99% value. Okay, 100% value is what here? 360. What is 1% value? 3.6, right? Minus 3.6 can be our answer. That's it. It will save your time for sure. Okay, so logical approach. Easily you can calculate every question without pen paper for sure. Okay, anyway, 360 minus 3.6 means what? Let us assume that it is 4. 360 minus 4, 354, right? 356, right? But below 3.6 only. That's why 356.6 something, whatever. 3.6 should be subtracted from where? 60. If it is 3, what can be the answer? 360 minus 3 can be 357. But 0.4 should be subtracted, right? Okay, 356.4 can be our 19% value. It will save your time for sure. Okay, that's why don't go for rough calculation. Don't waste your time. Think logically. Maximum avoid pen and paper. Very rare case to utilize pen and paper. Just avoid it. Okay. Now we can go for percentage calculation. Okay, fine. But in this we have so many basic level procedures. How to increase a number, how to calculate percentage to a given number, right? For an example, if I go for next one, don't confuse, right? 50% value can be easily, we can calculate, right? For an example, if I given a number 500, increase 20% on it. Increase 20% on it. How can you increase 20% on it? First of all, we need to go for basic value 500. 20 by 100 should be calculated. Okay, 5 2s are 100. That should be increased. So we need to calculate 20% value, and after that we need to add to the same number, right? Okay, answer can be now 500 plus 100. Answer can be 600. This is the general way we have. What is 500? A number. I need to increase 20%. I need to increase 20%. That's why I need to calculate 20% value first. After that we need to add to particular number. Clear? This is one way we have. But we'll have one more way also. Keep in mind. Remember one thing. Very interesting task. Till now, according to 6th class, 7th class, 8th class, school standard level, always unknown number can be taken as what? X, right? Always unknown number can be taken as X, yes or no? But always unknown number can be X, it is old generation. Then what is new way? Always unknown number can be taken as 100% value. Unknown number can be taken as 100% value. The given number also can be taken as 100% value. What is my given number? 500, right? So that can be taken as 100%. 100% is 500. Okay. Always unknown number can be X, and as well as the given number is also 100% value. Clear? Always keep in mind unknown number 100%. The given number can be 100% value. That's it. If you crack percentage lesson, you can crack almost 4 topics. Those 4 topics are profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, DI. DI 90% portion. So these all topics are dependent on what? Percentage only. Right? That's why you should be you should have good command on percentage topic. Then only you can crack remaining topics for sure. Right? Without percentage, there is no remaining chance. I mean, percentage, simple interest or profit loss, discount, so many subtopics will be there, right? That's why my perception is what? Just understand percentage properly. then you will be the winner for sure. Okay. Anyway, so 100% value is what? 500, right? The given number is 500. That can be taken as 100% value. But I need to increase 20%. That's why it can be 120% value. It can be 120% value, right? Why 120? The number can be taken as 100%, right? The number can be taken as 100%. I need to increase 20% on it. That's why 120%. Okay, if I want to increase 30%, 130%. If I want to increase 40%, 140%. One more question. If I want to decrease 20%, if I want to decrease 20%, that can be 80%. Why? Because always the number can be 100%. I need to decrease 20%. That's why it can be 80% value, right? This is the basic way of how to increase. Always remember one thing, the given number can be taken as 100%. So if it is increment plus decrement minus, nothing will be there, right? So this is a general basic way. First of all, how to convert percentage into fraction form. Okay. Next one, how to increase or decrease. These are the two basic sources we have, right? Next level is what? Comparison. For an example, if I have two numbers, don't confuse. If I have two numbers can be, for an example, here is a number A can be 50, B can be 60, right? So my perception is what? A is, my question is, A is what percent of B? In this case, how can you calculate? A is what percent of B means what? Here, half for whom? B, right? That's why it can be denominator part. Come again. Two different numbers are given. The question is what? A is what percent of B? Sometimes B is what percent of A. So what? Whatever the story we have, half for whom? B, right? That's why this B value can be denominator part. So logically, A by B into 100. A by B into 100. This can be comparison of two numbers. But observe clearly, why into 100 here? For an example, if it is 10%, 10 by 100 will be there, right? Here we have percentage sign, that's why by 100. To remove percentage sign, we have by 100 concept. But to convert into percentage, into 100. Come again. If I want to remove this percentage sign, by 100. To convert into percentage, into 100. So A by B into 100 can be percentage value. By 100 is what? After removing symbol, by 100. To create symbol, into 100. Come again. By 100 means to remove percentage sign or symbol. Into 100 means what? To convert into percentage. A is what percent of B? A by B into 100. If it is B is what percent of A? B is what percent of A? B by A into 100. That's it. B by A into 100. Why into 100? It can be converted into percentage. Nothing is there. Simple. How to calculate or how to remove symbol? By 100. How to create symbol? Into 100. That's it. Why B denominator part? Half for B, right? Half for B. That's why A by B into 100. What is A value? 50. B value 60 into 100 can be our answer. This is what, how to convert two numbers into percentage. For an example, in your 10th class, you got out of 600, you got 470 marks. Convert into percentage. How can you convert into percentage? Out of 600, you got 470 marks, right? 470 should be compared on what? The original worth. Entire value, 600 marks, total 600 marks. Okay, 470 marks should be compared on 600 into 100. Why into 100? It should be converted into percentage, right? Right. Type 1, how to calculate percentage. Type 2, how to convert into percentage. Right? Type 1, how to calculate percentage. Type 2, how to convert into percentage. Clear? A is what percent of B? A by B into 100. That's it. Nothing is there. I hope you are getting the point. This is second one. I'll go for one more one. It is also interesting. Same two members will be there. A, let us assume that 100. B, or I'll take one more question. No problem. Don't confuse. Right? Don't confuse. A, 500. B, 600. My question is, don't confuse me. My question is, A is what percent more or less than B? What about previous one? Previous one can be what? Previous one can be, what is the previous? This is what, how to convert into percentage. A is what percent of B, how to convert into percentage. But what about this one? A is what percent more or less than word is there. Here we have more or less than word, more or less than word. So whenever we have more or less than word, what we need to do? Simple. Here A has 500 rupees, B has 600 rupees. Who has more amount? B has more amount, right? So to compare A with B, logically A can be less value, right? That's why we need to go for A, it can be less percentage. For B, it can be more percentage. For B, it can be more percentage. For B, it can be more percentage, more, right? According to the numbers, we can decide, right? But if I go for A is what percent more or less means what, logical less, right? Yes, A can be less. How much less? Check the difference. So 100 is the difference value, right? This 100 should be compared on what? That's very important. Yes, A is less, 100 less. But we need to compare with the opposite person B. That's it. B can be 600. Right? Into 100. Why into 100? Need to convert into percentage, right, mom? Here what we have? More or less. Whenever we have more or less word, go for the difference value first. After getting difference value, that should be compared on opposite person of first person. More or less than B, right? Than B. Oh, A has less. When you compare to B, that's it. Difference value should be compared on opposite person. That's it. Then what about A is what percent of B? That is directly A by B into 100, right? But in this case, we need to check the difference. That's it. Nothing is there. Okay. How to convert into fraction. Next, how to calculate percentage. After that, A is what percent of B. How to convert into percentage. Next one, how to find more or less percentage. That's it. Nothing is there. Then what about B here? B is what percent more or less than A means? Difference. Again, difference. Difference should be, it is less percentage more. To get more percentage, again we need to take difference 100. That should be compared to opposite person of B will be A, right? Into 100. This is a basic concept we have, right? Keep in mind, less should be compared on more value. More should be compared on less value. That's it. This is more or less percentage. Difference value is important, mom. Okay? Now we can go for few questions. According to the strategy, we can go for few questions. Don't confuse, right? SSC, GL, banking, whatever the questions we have, happily we can decide, right? Observe it now. Very first question. The price of an item is increased by 20% and then decreased by 10%. What is the percentage change in the price? Observe it now. The price of an item is increased by 20%. I don't know price of item. So what? Unknown number always 100%. Yes, 100%. Always 100%. Don't confuse me. Unknown number always 100%, right? It is increased by how much? Increased by 20%. Increased by 20% means it can become 120%, right? Yes or no? Already we discussed. 100% can be increased by 20% means 120%. Okay. Again, decreased by 10%. Already increment value is there. Decreased by 10% means what? 90% worth. That's it. Here we will have so many ways, easiest ways, but keep in mind now. Of course, we will have so many ways, but need not to confuse. First way, general way. I will take 100. I will take 100. Don't confuse me. I will take 100. Okay. I can increase 20%. Means it will become 120. 120% value is what? 20 only, right? That should be added to 100 again. It will be 120. After getting 120 again, we need to calculate 10% on it, right? Why? Because I need to decrease 10% what, right? Don't confuse me. 12 rupees should be subtracted. Right? From where? 120. 120 minus 12 can be our answer. So whatever the answer we have, answer can be 108 something. Actual number is what? 100. I need to calculate 20% on it, and after that we need to add to that number. 20% of 100 can be 20 only. That should be added to 100. It will become 120. After getting 120, we need to go for 10% worth of 120. That is 12. That should be subtracted. This is a basic idea. But this is direct step, right? It will save your time, right? It is time wasting story. Don't go for individual calculation. Single step answer, right? 100 is the original value. It is increased by 20%. That's why 120. Decreased by 10% means what? 90. Successive increment and decrement concept. Okay, whatever. So zeros gone. Zeros gone. 12 nines are 108. That can be direct step, right? It will save your time, right? Don't go for individual calculations. It will save your time. This is what QT exam, common university entrance test. Okay, don't confuse. Next we can go for nice question. A candidate who gets 20% marks in an examination fail by 30 marks, but another candidate who gets SSCGL question. Okay, a candidate who gets 20% marks, what will happen here? 20% marks fails by 30 marks. Another candidate get 32% marks, got 42 marks more. Okay, fine. Then the passing marks, then the percentage of pass marks. We want pass marks percentage. So observe it now. Don't confuse. First candidate got how much? 20% marks. Failed by 30 marks. Means less. 30 marks are less, right, ma'am? 30 marks are less. Then what about second candidate? He got 32% marks and got 42 marks more. Here we have general way and as well as logical way also. First of all, we can go for general calculation. Observe it now. Check the difference in marks percentage value for two members. So 32, 20, 12 is the percentage value. But what about difference in marks? Don't confuse. Less and more value is there. Less more means what? Less and more means we need to add to check the difference. Don't confuse. 30 less, 40 more. To pass 30 required. To reach him, come again. First candidate to pass 30 marks are required. To reach second person, after getting pass marks, you need to go for again 42 extra marks, right? Logically, whenever you have more or less value, difference can be sum of two numbers. That's it. Okay, 42 plus 30 can be 72 marks. Okay, difference in marks can be 72. Difference in percentage will be 12%. 12%, 72. But what we need to find actually? Pass marks, right? To get pass marks, we need to go for 20% value, right? After getting 20% value, we need to add 30. Or else, you can go for 32%. After getting 32% value, we need to subtract 42, right? Why? Because there is more. I want pass percentage only. Pass marks or pass marks. Okay, no problem. Check the difference. 12%, 72. If I calculate 20%, I will not pass. Again, I need to add 30 marks to pass, right? That's it. Okay, 12 ones are 12 6 are 6 2 6 8 6 2 are 120 marks. 120 marks. But after getting 120 marks, failed by 30 marks, right? 12%, 72 is there. So 12 6 is 72. 6 into 20, 120. 6 2 is 12, right? 120. Again, we need to add 30 marks on it, right? 120 plus 30, 150 marks are required. Come on. 150 marks are required. But that should be converted into percentage, right? Okay. Actually, I am getting 150 marks, but that should be compared in what? Total marks, right? So if you observe it properly, don't confuse. Observe now. 12% value is 72 we got. If I go for 100% value, what can be this one? Total marks of the exam. Why? Because the pass marks value should be compared on total marks only, right? Come again. 20, 32 difference, 12%. Marks difference, less more concept is there. That's why it will be 72 marks. Achha, 12%, 72, 20% can be requirement. After getting 20% value, that should be increased by 30 marks to get pass, right? I got pass marks, but pass marks should be converted into percentage. So that's why I need to go for again 100% value. So 12 ones are 12, 6 are 6 into 100 mark. 600 marks are total. 600 marks are total. But this 150 marks should be compared on 600, right? 150 should be compared on 600 into 100. This is a basic story. This is pass percentage, right? What can be the answer here? 3 table, 3 2s are 3 50s are 50 by 2. Answer can be 25%, right? This is basic idea. But if you observe it properly, answer can be 25%. But observe it properly, time wasting story, right? So this is general way we have. Then what about logical way? This is general way. What about logical way? I'll tell you, don't worry. So logical way can be very easy. Don't confuse me. Right? Observe it now. This is general way. Okay? Right? Next one. I'll go for logical way. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. Simple way. First candidate got 20%, right? Second candidate got 32%, right? How many marks are less? 30 marks are less. Here 42 marks are more. 42 marks are more, right? Now we need to check the difference between them, right? Difference can be logical way. Don't go for general way. Logical way. Difference is 12%, but difference in marks will be 72 marks. I don't want 100%. Just think it logically. 12% is 72, right? Then what about reverse story? 72 can be 12%. Yes or no? If I get 20% marks, how many marks are less? 30 marks are less. That's why this 30 marks should be converted into percentage. Easily we can analyze the answer can be something, right? So I need to convert 30 marks less value into percentage. Why? Because I got 20% even though I got 30 marks less, right? That's why the marks should be converted into percentage. Single step story. Don't go for general calculation, right? अभी बोलो 30 marks क्या होगा? 72. 12 ones are 12 six are 6 ones are 6 fives are answer 5% less. Oh, according to marks 30 marks less, according to percentage 5% less. Okay, 5% should be added to 20%. Answer will be 20 plus 5, 25%, right? It will save your time. Yes or no? Of course you can go for 42 marks also. If you go for 42 marks, that can be 7% worth. 7% should be subtracted from 32. But it is also same story. You can depend on anyone. So it is easiest way, right? That's why think it logically. Don't go for general calculations. Don't waste your valuable time. So without pen paper, every question should be solved. That's my perception. SSCGL question. Okay. Now we can go for next one. Observe it now. CLAT. So CLAT exam. If 40% of a number is added to 240, then the result is the same number. 50% of the same number is. Oh, we need to calculate 50% of the same number, but actually we'll have so many ways. The general way is what? 40% of a number is added to 240. Here we'll have 240, don't confuse me. Here we'll have 240, right? Here we'll have 240, but we need to increase how much? 40% of a number is added to 240. I don't know a number. 40% of, let us assume that it is X. Unknown number can be X. Old generation, old story. 240 plus 40% of X will give same number itself, X only. Acha, 240 plus 40% of X can be X value. That is a basic concept we have. But we need to calculate 50% on it. After getting X value, we can go for 50% worth of X. But it is time wasting, illogical. Not illogical, general approach. I don't want general approach. I want logical approach based on universal fact. Based on universal fact, how to crack every question without pen paper is my perception, right? Observe clearly, ma. It is a complete number. I am adding only 40% worth of 240, right? Okay, 40% worth of 240 will give complete number. Logically, if it is 40% added, what about remaining value? It can be 60%, right? 40% plus 60% can be 100%. Yes or no? That is complete number. Complete number is nothing but 100% value. Basic story. Achha, 40% plus 60% will give 100%. Why? Because X always we need to take it as what? 100%. Already we discussed, right? X can be, unknown number can be 100%. Unknown number can be 100%. Okay. So unknown number can be 100%. That's why I need to add 40% to a number. This given number 240 can be 60%, right? 60% can be 240. What is 100%? We don't want 100%. We don't want complete number. We want only 50%, right? Yeah, 60% 240. What is 50%? That's it. Single step answer, right? 60% 240. Why 60%? Why? Because we are adding 40% on it, right? So a number can be 100% means we are adding 40%. Logically, we have 60%. Oh, this 240 can be 60%, right? 60% is 240. What is 50%? 600 and whatever. 6 4s are right. 6 4s are 24. 4 into 54 5s are 200 can be our answer, right? So answer can be 200. Clear? So it will save your time. Don't go for X procedures. Time wasting story. This is what CLAT exam. Okay, next one we can go for SBI clerk. Superb. SBI clerk. Observe it now. A student was awarded to certain marks in an examination. However, after reevaluation, his marks were reduced by 40% of the marks that were originally awarded to him, so that the new score now become 96. Okay, fine. How many marks did the student lose after reevaluation? Okay, of course it is a big story. But observe it clearly, ma. It is not a big question. Story is big, but question is not big. Okay, don't confuse. A student was awarded to certain marks in a examination. However, after reevaluation, his marks were reduced by 40%. Achha, after reducing 40%, it is becoming 96, right? That's why original numbers can be always, what we need to observe, ma, always original number can be 100%. Already we discussed. Original numbers can be 100%. Okay, right? But it is decreased by 40%. That's why it will become 60%. Yes or no? That 60% decrement value already is there. 60% decrement value is what 96 has given. Okay, the original value can be 100%. From that 100%, after evaluation, we need to decrease 40% worth. It will become 60%. That value is given as what? 96. 60% value is 96. But what is asking? How many marks did the student lose after evaluation? Yeah, don't confuse. Don't go for 100%. I don't want complete. Total number, total marks. I want reduced marks. Of course, reduced marks can be 40%, right? Don't go for general calculation, ma. After getting 100% value, we need to subtract 40% on it. It will be time wasting, right? Don't go for 100%. Time wasting. Don't find total marks. What do you mean by 100%? 100% is nothing but complete marks gained by him. After evaluation, 40% gone, remaining 60% will be there, right? 60% worth is 96. But how much decreased? 40% decreased, right? That's why 60% worth is there. I want 40% worth. That's it. So 0, 0 gone. 6 1s are 6 16s are 16 6 are okay. 16 4 are 64. Right? 64 marks are losing. Simple concept. My 100% is complete marks. I don't want complete gained marks. I want only losing marks. That's why the remaining numbers can be 96. That can be 60% worth. I want losing marks 40% worth. Don't go for general calculation, time waiting. So without pen paper, how can you crack the exam? Is my intention, right? Based on universal fact, how to crack every question is my perception. Okay, now we can go for next question. RRB. Okay, let's go for RRB question. To qualify an examination of 200 marks, a candidate should obtain 40% marks. If A scores for 10% more than the passing marks, and okay. Actual requirement is what? Actual requirement is very important, ma. Actual requirement is what? 40% marks are required. To pass an exam, 40% marks are required. Okay, fine. But unfortunately, what happened? If A scores 10% more than passing marks, actually total qualifying an exam 200 marks. Total marks are given, ma, 200 marks. Again, don't go for general calculation. So after getting 200, we need to go for 40% worth on 200. After getting 40% worth, I need to calculate 10% worth on extra value, time wasting story, right? My perception is what? Don't confuse. General way is what? Total 200 marks are there. We need to calculate 40% on it. 240% worth should be calculated. After getting those 40% value to for the 80, we need to increase 10% on it, right? We need to increase 10% on it, right? Why? Because he's getting 10% more, right? What is the marks obtained by A? So 80, 10% value is what? 8 marks. Don't confuse 80, 10% value. 1 by 10. 1 by 10 means 10 to 1. No, 10% is not 1 by 10, right? 8 marks should be added. 80 plus 8, 88 marks. 88 marks can be your answer, right? Direct step will be there. Don't confuse. Actually 40% is there, ma'am. So I need to increase 10% on it, right? Previous value is what? 40%. I need to increase 10% value. What is 10% of 40? 4 extra. Oh, he is getting 44%. That's it. I need to calculate 44% and 200. Make it simple. Don't make it as complicated. Don't go for 40% worth and calculate 10%. Illogical concept. 40% already is there. I need to increase 10% on it. The previous value is important, right? Why? Because 10% more than the passing marks he has given. Not 200 marks. Only passing marks. Passing marks 40%. According to percentage 40%. I need to increase 10% on it. That will be 4 extra. So we need to calculate 44% on 200. That's it. 44% on 200. Logically 44 2s are 88. Same answer, right? It will save your time. Choice is yours. General way, logical way. So my intention is what? Without pen paper, how to crack every question is my intention. Based on universal fact. Renekas, these are the introduction stories, of course, small stories. We'll have advanced level questions also. It will be discussed in our app. Happily you can download our app and observe the courses. Happily you can purchase them. Okay? What we have? SBI, not SBI, banking sector, SSCGL, next CLAT, CUTE, GATE also. GATE Aptitude is there. Don't confuse. Any competitive exam, happily you can crack the exam for sure with our content. Okay? Are you getting the point? It is suitable for all competitive exams. The fee is what? 999. Just observe the app first. Go for only English version course, ma. All in one course. The name is what? All in one. Aptitude, reasoning, pure maths, all in one course. That's why don't lose your confidence. Happily you can come, observe the videos. Happily you can purchase. Okay.